Hi everyone, my name is Andy Sharma and welcome to my KT session on this project. Today I'm going to walk you through a product called CodePilot Enterprise. In plain terms, CodePilot is like having five very smart assistants that help software engineers do their job faster. They read computer code, understand it, and then help fix problems or build new things without breaking anything that is already working. The headline you see on this slide, 10 times faster bug fixes, is the promise we are making. Something that used to take an engineer 2 or 3 days, CodePilot can help finish in about 30 minutes. That is the heart of what we are building as a team at Euron for this project or for this product. Let me show you why this matters and how it works. Here is what we will cover. I will start with the problem we are solving and who feels the pain. Then I will explain our solution and how it is built. After that, I will look at the actual features, the numbers we are aiming for, and finally the risks we are keeping an eye on. So the problem um, So the problem. So here is the problem. When a software engineer join his company or even when they move to a new project, they do not just sit down and start writing code. First, they have to read and understand thousands of lines of code that someone else wrote, often years ago. Look at the numbers on the right. Engineers spend somewhere between 35 to 50% of their time just reading code, not writing it. When something breaks, fixing it can take 2 to 3 days, and most of that time is spent figuring out how the system works, not spending time on actually fixing the bug. For a company with 100 engineers, you can imagine this adds up to $5 to $7 million a year spent just on reading and understanding without fixing the bug. And when engineers miss something important because they didn't have a full context, the bug that slip into production can cost another 3 to $16 million a year. Why now? Four things came together. Companies cut their teams during the layoffs of 2023 and 2024, but still expect the same output. AI has gotten reliable enough to actually help with the serious work. Now, AI models you see these days today can read entire code bases at once, which was not possible uh, probably a year before or in the recent past. And finance leaders are now demanding to see real returns from AI investments. The window is open, but it won't stay open forever. Who we serve. Let's talk about the people who feel this pain. We have identified three types of users. First is Sarah, which is a user case actually. These are the scenario based user cases. First is Sarah. She's a senior engineer at a fast growing financial company with over 80 different microservices in their system. She spends most of her week fixing problems in code she didn't write. She is our wedge, meaning she is the first person we want to make happy. Then there is Marcus, who is a VP of engineering. He runs a team of 120 people. His problem is different. He has a no good way to prove to his bosses where his team's time is going or why certain projects take so long. And then there is a Priya, who is a quality engineer. Her job is to make sure code works correctly before it ships to customers. But her test coverage is only 30 to 50%, which means a lot of bugs slip through when she ships to the customer. Now, look at the bottom of the slide. It is our wedge use case in a single picture. Today, when there is a bug in an unfamiliar part of the system, an engineer like Sarah spends 2 to 3 days on it, broken across multiple settings, late nights, weekends. With the CodePilot, the same job takes 30 minutes in one focused session. That's the value we are offering. Solution. So, how do we do this? We use 5 specialized AI assistants, we call them agents, that work together hand in hand like a relay team. The architect is the first one. It reads the code base and figures out how everything connects. Think of it as the assistant who draws you a map of the city before you start driving. Next is the planner assistant. Its job is to figure out the smallest possible change needed to fix the problem. It prevents us from over engineering or making bigger changes than necessary. Then comes the coder. It writes the actual fix, making sure the new code matches the style and patterns of what is already there. Then tester comes in picture. The tester assistant writes tests to make sure nothing else breaks. It is especially good at catching the edge cases that human usually miss. We as a human we usually miss. Finally, the reviewer assistant who checks the work for security issues, performance problems and quality. At the bottom of the slide is something important. Human in the loop. This means small, safe changes happen automatically, but anything risky always goes to a human for approval. We are not replacing engineers, we are just amplifying them. We are empowering them by providing a product which can make their life easier at work. And every decision is recorded, so there is a full trail of what happened and why it happened. This slide is for architecture. This shows how the system is built. Don't get intimidated by the technical names. The idea is simple. The system has 4 layers stacked on top of each other. At the top is the client layer. That's what users actually see and interact with, like the editor they write code in. Below that is the API layer, which is basically the front door of the system. It handles requests and keeps things secure. Then comes the agents layer. This is where our 5 AI assistants that I discussed in the previous slide actually do the work. And then at the bottom is the data layer, which stores the code, the patterns we have learned, and the history of everything that has been done. Look at the bottom strip, the request flow. That is the journey a single request takes through the system from the moment an engineer asks for help to the moment they get an answer. Clean and traceable from end to end. This slide covers two things that make CodePilot safe and smart. On the left side is the memory. Like humans, our AI has two types: short term memory, which holds what it is working on right now, and it clears itself out after a day or so. Long term memory, on the other hand, it stores everything It has learned about your code base, your team's patterns, and what has been worked in the past. This is what makes it smarter over time and able to recover when things change. On the right are our guardrails, which are basically the safety controls. We have 6 layers, and you can think of them like the safety system in a car. Policy controls: who is allowed to do what. Input filters block bad questions or attempts to manipulate the system. Retrieval makes sure the AI you only sees data it is allowed to see. Tools controls what actions the AI can take, and dangerous actions and approvals which need approval. Output checks the AI's answers before sending them, and then monitoring watches everything, alerting us if something looks unusual, like a sudden cost spike. So these 6 layers all work together, so even if one layer fails, the other catches the problem. So complete end-to-end solution. This slide discusses features. So now let's talk about what CodePilot actually does. On the left are the features we are building first for our launch in summer this year. Feature 1 is repository ingestion. This is how CodePilot reads and learns a code base, connect a project, and within 5 minutes it understands 100,000 lines of code. Feature 2, bug fix with the root cause. This is the wedge we talked about. Give it an error message, and in under 30 seconds, it will tell you what went wrong and gives you a tested fix. Feature 3 is the test generation. It writes tests for code that does not have them, getting coverage from the typical 30% up to 80 or 90%. On the right side are features which are coming in phase 1, which runs from late 2026 through early 2027. We will add support for more programming languages like Java, JavaScript, Go, and others. We will add the ability to build entire new features from a plain English description, and we will integrate with the other tools uh, other teams are already using, like GitLab, Slack, billing system, and so on. The black strip at the bottom shows phase 2, where we add the enterprise grade features that big companies need. Things like single sign on, security certifications, and the ability to run CodePilot on a company's own servers. Cool? So, this slide discusses the numbers, roadmap, and business models. Across the top are our 4 key targets. We want our most common task, fixing a bug, which is a core of this product, which, you know, to take the goal of that is to take less than 30 seconds to fix a bug in a code base or code. We want the code that we generate to work on the first try 95% of the time. Okay, we are aiming for 99.9% uptime, which means less than 43 minutes of downtime per month, and we want a 75% gross margin, meaning the business is healthy and sustainable. The middle row shows our roadmap in 3 chunks. The first 3 months are MVP, Python language only, focused on bug fixes. Months 4 through 9, we expand to more languages and full feature generation. And months 10 through 15, we add the enterprise features. I just mentioned. At the bottom is how we make money. 30 tiers. Starter at $50 per seat per month for small teams trying it out. Professional at $100 per seat for serious teams who use it daily. And enterprise, which is a custom pricing for big companies that need the wide glove treatment. Our goal is $5 million in revenue in year 1, growing to 15 million in year 2. Okay, next up we have risks and next steps. Finally, let's talk about what could go wrong. We divide this into three categories. One is technical risks. The AI models we depend on could change in quality, our complex system could have failure modes we have not seen, and subtle bugs could slip past our checks. Then there is a business risk. The big AI companies could build something similar. Free alternatives could catch up, or our sales cost could spiral. Operational risks, the system might not scale as smoothly as we expect. Our infrastructure costs could outpace revenue, or our security certification could take too long. Below that are the open questions. We are still figuring out exactly what to include in version 1, how to price it, and which languages to support next. And in the bright blue strip at the bottom are our immediate next steps. By end of June, we lock down what is in version 1. We sign up 10 partner companies to work with us closely, and we get the agent pipeline running with full monitoring. In closing, that's the CodePilot enterprise in a nutshell. We are taking the most frustrating part of an engineer's job, reading and understanding unfamiliar code, and making it 10 times faster, with 5 agents working together, with the humans always in control. If you have any questions, I would love to hear them. Thanks for listening my KT session. Thanks.